Good morning and welcome, dear students, to Online English video class. Today we are going to begin with the poem Dust of Snow, written by Robert Frost. But before starting the poem, we will be talking about the poet, central idea of the poem, symbols and symbolism, symbols used in poem, analysis of the poem, rhyming scheme, and of course, message of the poem. So we will now begin with the writer Robert Frost. Robert Frost, who was born in 1874 to 1963. Okay, so this is the lifespan of the writer. Okay, so he was the leading modern American poet of nature and rural life. He found beauty and meanings in commonplace objects such as dropping birch tree and an old stone, and drew universal significance from the experiences of a farmer or a country boy. Okay, children. So he was a leading modern poet of America. He is also known as a nature poet, and basically in his writing we find the rural life of his country. Okay, he was found beauty and meaning in the commonplace object. Commonplace object in the life of humans is basically the major theme of his writing. Okay, such as a dropping birch tree and an old stone that always drew a universal significance from the experiences of a farmers or a country boy. So these are the basic things that he has taken for his poetry collection. Okay, now, most of his poems have a New England setting and deal with the theme of man's relationship to nature. Okay, most of his poem is basically deals with the man's relationship to nature. The poem that we are going to study today, that is also based on the same theme. Okay, now see the second paragraph. Um, the poetry of Robert Frost has many layers of meanings. Though his poems on the surface level seems simple and shallow, but a deeper study reveals that he is a great philosopher and realist who has delved deep to know that the real meaning of life. Okay, so you can see that the poetry of Robert Frost has many layers of meaning. How? Okay, when we are talking about surface level of his poems, so surface meaning of the poems of Robert Frost is very simple and shallow, but when we go deeper, we find that all the poems written by him is a really has a great meaning in it. Okay, so that is why it shows that Robert Frost is not only a poet but also a philosopher and a realist who has always developed a deep knowledge to know the real meaning of the life of the human life, how the common thing is very important. This is significant he has shown in his poems. Okay, now, the treatment of nature in his poem is not merely related to the outward beauty of the various facts of nature, but to reveal a deeper message through it. Okay, so the poems of Robert Frost is not only given the outward beauty of the readers, but also it is giving the deeper meaning of the poems that is related to the common things, common value of life of human. Clear? Okay, so that was all about the writer Robert Frost. Now we are proceeding the class with the central idea of the poem. Okay, okay, central idea of the poem we will be now going to start. Okay, so here you can see that Dust of Snow is a beautiful short poem written by Robert Frost. This poem tells that even a simple moment has a large significance. Okay, the okay, so the Dust of Snow is a beautiful short poem written by him, and also it tells that even a simple moment has a large significance. Okay, sometimes what happen that there is a simple significance types of situation in our life that we are not consider these things, no, that is very we think that this types of event is very short and simple, so let us leave it. But here here the writer wanted to focus that a simple moment has also can be also have a large significance in our life. So We should not ignore these things. Okay, the poet has mentioned crow and hemlock tree in this poem. Okay, crow and hemlock tree, that hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. Now I just want to show you that the crow and hemlock tree, these are very common thing in common object and in human lives. So in this poem he has used crow and hemlock tree. What is hemlock tree, children? So hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. Okay, that is found in uh, England. Clear? That signify his depressive and sorrowful mood. Okay, so crow and hemlock tree are to be used for the signify his depressive and sorrowful mood. Okay, so it's very clear in the poem that when we start the poem we find that the writer is already in his depressive and sorrowful mood. Clear? So both of these signify that the poet was not in good mood, and so he described the dark and depressive and bitter side of nature to present his similar mood. So children, we can say that he has used these two objects in his poem, and also these both of these signify that poet was not in good mood, as I told. So he described the dark element of the life. Okay, he described the depressive element of the life, the bitter side of the nature, to present his similar mood. How he is going to contrast between these two things in this poem, we will see. Okay. Okay, then again it says that Dust of Snow by Robert Frost was originally published with the title Favor in the month of December in 1920 in London Mercury. Okay, so here the title Favor is given. So what happened earlier means originally it was published with this title Favor, Favor. Okay, so it was published in 1920. Clear? In London Magazine. Okay, here I just want to tell you something about London Magazine. I just want to show you the page. Okay, so children, you can see that this is about this. Okay, let us talk on London Magazine first. So what is London Magazine? London Macri. So London Macri is actually uh, a magazine. No, it is a magazine that was I have somewhere written about it. Okay, it is not there. Okay, I will be giving you some detail about this London Macri. Actually, it is a magazine, no? It is a monthly published magazine. So he was just given his poem in this magazine first in 1920. Later on in 1923, it was published in the poet's famous work collection of poem, that is New Hemisphere. Okay, the New Hemisphere is the poet's poems collection. See, we will be talking about it. You can see that this is New Hemisphere pamphlet, and we'll be now going to know something more about it. So New Hemisphere is a 1923 volume of poems written by him, which won the 1924 Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. This book included several of Frost's most well-known poems, including Stopping by Woods on Snowy Evening, Nothing Gold Can Stay, and Fire and Ice, etc. So here you can see that these are the several important and famous poems written by him, and now these all have included and then published in his collection of book named New Hemisphere. So I hope this is clear to you, that all are about the poem that we are going to study. Okay, now let's move further. Okay, so here we will be now reading about the summary of the poem. So the poem describes a winter's day, and the incident described in the poem, it is said to have probably taken place at the back of the poet's house itself. Clear? So you can say that this poem is talking about a winter's day. Okay, so you know that dust of snow is talking about a day of winter. Okay, and it is also to be said that probably this poem taken place at the back of his own house. Clear, back of his own house. Clear. So the poem has two stanzas, and each stanza has four lines. It is a short poem, but is one of the most widely read and acca- uh, acca- acclaimed poems composed by Robert Frost. Okay, so here we can say that this poem has a two stanza. Okay, two stanza, and each stanza has four lines. Clear? Okay, now after this we will be talking on symbolism used in the poem. Okay, so here as I told you that symbols and symbolism. So children, in this way we have completed about the poet and central idea of the poem. Now we are going to study about symbols and symbolism. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, let me come on the page. Oh yeah, it is okay. So before starting this understanding the symbolism, we will be first talking on symbols. What is symbols? Let us know. So a symbol is an object used for some deeper meaning. Clear? Some symbols are simple and easily recognizable, while some need context for meaning. So you can see that a symbol is a object, okay, that is used for a deeper meaning. Clear? So some symbols can be simple, while others can be more critical and need context for its meaning. Clear? It can be any sign, mark, character, and letter. So when we are talking about symbols, so it can be any sign, mark, characters, letter, and etc. Now let us have an example of a symbol, then you will be able to understand more. See the example pigeon, rose and pigeon. Okay, when we are talking about rose and pigeon, so first of all we know that rose is a flower and pigeon is a bird. Okay, but there is an abstract level of rose and pigeon. Okay, abstract concept, abstract meaning of that, that the rose is basically stand for love and pigeon is basically stands for peace. Okay, so in this way when we talk on rose, there is a sign of a symbol of love that we will be getting automatically. As when we talk about pigeon, we have a sense of peace with it. Clear? So that symbolizes for peace. So I hope symbol is clear to you. Now let us talk on symbolism. Okay, okay, what is symbolism? So symbolism is when an object or word represents or symbolizes an abstract idea different from the literal meaning. Okay, it is when an object or any word represents or symbolizes what? An abstract idea that is different from the literal meaning. Okay, any abstract idea that is represents for by the writer and also it is different from the literal meaning, we can say that it is a symbolism. And also symbolism is in literature is a literary element used to help readers to understand the literary work. And also we can say that symbolism in okay, symbolism in literature is a literary element. Okay, it is a literary element that is used by the writers to help the readers to understand a literary work. Okay, so I hope that symbolism is also clear to you. Okay, mm, now let us talk on symbolism used in the poem. Let me okay. So now we are going to start with symbolism used in the poem. So children, after symbolism used in the poem, we will finish our video here because it will be bigger after to explaining these three headings. So in these three headings will be explained in the next video of mine in part 2. Okay, so that will be the last heading here. So let us talk on symbols used in the poem. So children, Here we can say that the first symbol used by the writer is hemlock tree. Okay, now let us know about it. So Faust wanted to symbolize the feelings of sadness and regret, which is why he has used a hemlock tree. Okay, children. So he wanted to symbolize the feeling of sadness and regret. Okay, that is why he has used hemlock tree. The dust of snow that is shaken off the hemlock tree by the crow stands for joy that he experiences. Clear? So it's very easy to understand that hemlock tree is used to symbolize the feeling of sadness and regret. And then after, the dust of snow, that is also a natural element. Okay, so that of the dust of snow that is shaken off the hemlock tree by the crow stands for joy. Okay, so he has therefore used an unconventional tree and bird in order to contrast with them join form of snow. Okay, so it's very easy to understand how he has used these two things. He has used dust of snow as a sign of joy, and also he used a hemlock tree as a sign of sadness and regret. Clear? I hope why hemlock tree stand is used here by the writer you are easily understood. Now let us see the next symbol. So the next symbol he has used is a black crow. Okay, so the black crow is usually a symbol of death and fear. Okay, so when we talk about black crow, children, we have a mind that it is used for death and fear. Okay, it is also not good for symbolization. Okay, so since the crow is not associated with goodness, it is ironic that this in this poem it is doing a good deed by shaking off the show. Okay, snow. It is not show, it is snow. Okay, now writer wanted to focus that as it is not to stand for a good thing, since the writer is not associated with the goodness, it is that is why I told that in the starting of the class that there is many surface meaning of the writer's theme. No, see that it is the ironic that in this poem, as crow is not used as a sense of good, but the snow that was shaken off the tree by the crow, that somewhere belongs to goodness. No, so here the crow is somewhere used as a good sense by the writer. Clear? Anyway anyway the beautiful snow that adorns the poisonous hemlock tree branches is shaken off by a scary crow. Okay, so in this way the writer somewhere try to have a contrast between goodness to the bad thing, good to the bad. Okay, thing. So now rest of the class will be taking in the next part. So till that time, children, I hope we have what we have done today, got it well, that we have started with Robert Frost, then after central idea. Okay, Robert Frost, central idea, symbols and symbolism. We also talked on symbols used in the poem. And in the next class, we will analysis the poem. We will be talking on a rhyming scheme and also message of the poem. And then the next part will be explanation of the poem as it is given in your book. So I hope that you are now completely familiar with the points that we have discussed today. If you want to take screenshot, you can take, and for the next class. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.